Accrington Stanley enter the playoff places.
And it's a trip to the seaside for Oxford up against Blackpool.
Welcome back to Very Biased Opinions as we continue our coverage of the Sky Bet League One season. It is round 17. Before I get started on everything and how last week went, please have a look below if you specifically want timestamps. They are in the description and they're in the chapters feature, but we do not believe in them. We don't believe in that. You want to savor it in, drink it all up, enjoy the whole thing. As well as that, there are Amazon links, Audible links, and certain other links we would love you to click on. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Grandstand Bettors, the best tipster website there is. There should probably be a disclaimer here saying I don't know what I'm talking about, but they are awesome. Enough of this lollygagging, though. Ian, what happened last week in League One predictions?
Well, it wasn't a particularly great showing for us, Thomas. We ended up drawing 7 points each. We got a lot of stuff wrong because there were a lot of crazy results. But you did get 2 correct scores, getting Gillingham and Burton right. I got the Aki one right, but it was a 7-all tie. So I don't want to overplay it. I don't want to overstate it. But that means that this round is double points!
And with that said, we lead in with Lincoln City versus Sunderland.
Somewhere along the line, Tom, Sunderland are going to wake up again, aren't they? They've been asleep.
They feel like they have to, don't they? At some point.
Yeah, they couldn't wish for a harder game to want to wake up in, away to Lincoln City. It probably is one of the hardest games on the fixture list at the moment. They've been so good and so good at home. Three back-to-back wins for the Imps. Look rock solid at the back as well. We talk about that all the time. But yeah, Sunderland have got a new boss in there now, in Lee Johnson. But they had a horror show of a result against Wigan.
What is going on? How do you lose 1-0 to Wigan? Like, what exactly are you guys even doing? They were rooted to the bottom of the table. They stood no chance. And he's brought back Aiden McGeady, which I think fans wanted to see. They wanted to see his creative player come in. But they just could not get a goal. I mean, they had 16 shots in this match, but only 3 were on target. It was aimless. It was an aimless performance.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of obviously you can imagine there's a lot of bad tempers up there in the northeast, and you can imagine he's got a lot of work to do. He'll get a pass because obviously it was the first game, but I'm not 100% sure he's the man for the job. It's a very big job for him to go into. It was very much quite comfortable for him at Bristol City until it all went wrong. This is a huge job. This is a job that I really feel you need a bit more of an experienced boss, but they've had experienced managers and they've failed as well. So maybe I'm just talking absolute waffle. What I'm going to let you, because I don't really know, so I'm going to get my guidance off you. Give me a score.
I'm really liking Lincoln City this year, Ian. They beat Rochdale 2-0. They're on a really good run. They're playing really good football. It doesn't matter if they're out possessing the team or not, which they did do against Rochdale. They're your favourite club, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Well, I think it'd be a fool's errand. I think it'd be a fool's errand to back Sunderland on this horrendous run of form they're in. The new manager bounce has already not come off, so I don't see it happening here. Lincoln City 3, Sunderland 1.
Well, I haven't done this for a while, but I do know that Sunderland's favourite score is 1-1, and that is exactly what I'm going for. Share and spoils, 1-1. Hull City versus Shrewsbury Town.
Well, Ian, I found a new club to call mediocrity incarnate. That's right, Shrewsbury.
Oh,
holy hell.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Hull. I was going to say they're top of the league.
No, not Hull. They're great. Shrewsbury have now drawn 8 matches this season. They drew 1-1 against Charlton Athletic, which I suppose technically counts as a good result for them, but my God, are they boring. My God, do they not offer much. It took a 95th minute penalty for them to get anything out of this game, and I am not impressed by them in any way. I don't like this team. I'll be happy to see them go down. Sorry, Shrewsbury fans. Ian, talk me through what you saw at Hull this week.
Well, I didn't see anything at Hull. I saw it at Oxford United's ground, but it was a very impressive performance by both sides. It ended up being a 1-1 draw, and let me tell you, Hull looked every bit the team that deserve to be top of the league. They look very well organised. They've got a lot of power, a lot of pace, a lot of skill in their side. And Oxford pushed them, but at times Hull really showed their quality. And there was a couple of dodgy refereeing decisions that Oxford came out on the right side of, which ended up with a 1-1 draw, which I think is a fair result in the grand scheme of things. And thank you to all the Oxford and Hull fans that commented on the video. A lot of good responses from both sets of fans. You know, it's always nice to hear from the away fans as well. A lot of them saying, you'll be all right this season, which was a little high for stomach. But yeah, I think Shrewsbury getting a point against Charlton's a good result for them, but I think Hull return to winning ways. 3-0 to Hull.
I'm going to go by my new favourite scoreline, 3-1 to Hull City.
Just play it. I mean, the bench of Hull was so strong.
Yeah.
Literally every single player they got on arguably would have started in the opposite team.
Doncaster Rovers versus Gillingham.
Everybody give Gillingham a round of applause. Come on, Thomas, join in. Join in. Any side that beats Swindon Town deserves a big round of applause after, well, especially I'm still bitter, of course I am. But, yeah, Gillingham beat Swindon by 2-0. They did it in the very Gillingham way. I know you talked about Swindon out-possessing them, but that's just what Gillingham do. They're compact, they're resolute, and they hit sides from set pieces. They hit sides from long balls into the box, and a lot of the time it works, and that's why they're doing pretty decently in the league. They're in great form. I think that's 4 wins and 1 draw out of the last 5 games, so they're flying. I'm going to leave Doncaster to you because I think I actually got a point for the first time ever back in Doncaster to win, and they beat Northampton, but I can't talk about them. They're too flaky for my liking.
The Bells were in complete control in this game. They won 2-0. Northampton had a player sent off after 18 minutes, though, but the result was never really in doubt. They dominated the match. You'll love to see, and they had 70% possession, and they won a game, which is a nice change. Because every time I talk about a team having more possession, they lose. That is the official rules of League One. But no, they had a really good game. They're actually on a pretty decent form. They've got a couple wins, a couple draws, and a loss recently, but they're only 3 points.
The loss was to Hull.
Yeah, so, but they're only 3 points out of the playoff place at this point, and they're putting together a really nice year. Yeah. I'm going to be honest, though. I see the Gills winning this one 2-1.
No! Oh, God, it's difficult, isn't it? They're on a really good run. They are on a good run, so that's difficult. I think Doncaster...
There's a point, by the way, that separates these two teams in the league.
There is, but I'm going to go with my old friend Desmond on this one, Thomas.
2-2?
2-2. Ipswich Town versus Portsmouth.
Ian, this match says that it should be an absolute barn burner on the tin. This should be a fantastic game. 2 ex-Premier League sides going to battle against each other. But I'm afraid that only half of Ipswich's team will actually make it to the match.
Yeah, they are struggling, but they did get a good win last time out as well. I talked about them looking pretty flat in the Oxford game, but they did get a good win against Plymouth, who are themselves admittedly really struggling at the moment. But Pompey had arguably the best result of the weekend. Yeah. Talk about fans coming back. It must have made a massive difference in that game, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Fratton Park would have been bouncing, even with 2,000 fans in. They beat Peterborough by a couple of goals to 0. And really just turned around a little bit of sticky form that they were in as well. And I think these two played in the FA Cup earlier on, and I think Portsmouth won that one at Portman Road. And I think Pompey, I'm going to back Pompey again. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Portsmouth.
2-1 win to Portsmouth. Well, Ian, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to go for a Portsmouth victory as well, something I've not done in weeks. Portsmouth 2, Ipswich Town 0. Bottom of the table, Wigan Athletic versus promotion hopefuls, Accrington Stanley.
Well, I better get the Wigan bit in first because there's absolutely no chance I'm going to stop you once you start talking about Accrington Stanley. Wigan, I talked about Pompey getting a result of the weekend. Scrap that. It was Wigan Athletic getting a 1-0 win over Sunderland. A fantastic result. No doubt they had to ride their luck at times because I know Tom's going to talk about possession because he loves that sort of thing. But a much-needed win for them. They've been in dreadful form and it's obviously not going well for them. We talk about all the off-field problems, but that was only their 3rd win of the season. It much needed them to bring them closer to the pack. They're still bottom of the league, but they're joint bottom of the league now with Shrewsbury. But it is difficult to see them getting against this Aki side, who are in fantastic form.
Yeah, the Reds had another win here. That's 3 wins in their last 5. They're only 1 out of the promotion places. They've even got a couple games in hand. All they need is a point at this point, and they will go above. I don't know. They'll be tied with Charlton still. So, but they were absolutely fantastic for another game. They allowed MK Dons to pass the ball around pointlessly around the back 4 and just continually hit them. Dion Charles got a brace. Chelsea Loney Uwakweme, I believe is how we say his name, looked quite good down the left. But in general, Accrington Stanley.
I wonder what his goal was like. They usually score spectacular efforts. He does.
He got an assist, and then he also started the move for the second goal. But he's been awesome for them, and they have in general been like not a breath of fresh air for this league, because the league didn't need a breath of fresh air. But it's really fun to have a side like Accrington Stanley performing the way they are. They're definitely my team, and I am backing Accrington Stanley.
Quick question. As a quiz, it's a 1-question quiz.
Yeah.
Who beat Accrington Stanley 4-1 this season?
Oxford United. 3-0 to Accrington Stanley.
Back Accrington to win as well. I think they'll win 2-0. Swindon Town versus Fleetwood Town.
Right, well, I better let you talk ad nauseum about Swindon losing a football match, as I know that will make you happy. So I will talk about Fleetwood Town's shock loss to form team Blackpool. They lost to Blackpool. It happened. Gary Medine got an early goal. They edged it out. It was a pretty even encounter. Neither of them had a huge amount of efforts on target, a huge amount of shots, but Fleetwood did not actually manage to hit the target in this game, which is pretty rare, as they are one of the best attacking sides in the league. I think we can easily chalk this one out as a poor performance, and one that will turn around against a Swindon team that don't seem to be able to put together any form.
No, they don't. They haven't really, and I'm not going to laugh and joke at them. The win they had against Oxford, they haven't carried that bounce on forward. They've lost their last 2 games after it. It isn't any shame losing away at Gillingham. Oxford lost there earlier on in the season. I know the sort of what it's like. They're a sort of side that just, you feel like you're going to beat them. You feel like you've got all the possession. You feel like you're getting shots on goal. You feel like you're dominating everything, and then they go and score.
Yes.
So very effective in what they do. But I know a lot of the Swindon fans who did comment on the Oxford video talked about how, particularly defensively, they are a shadow of the side they were last season. And that is really coming home to haunt them. They've been really poor defensively. And the Fleetwood side that's wounded is a very dangerous side. And I have to back Swindon to lose, but I don't like backing Fleetwood to win. So I don't know. I've got to say Swindon 1, Fleetwood 3.
Swindon 1.
Tough one for you. Like, less than 2 evens.
I think Fleetwood are going to win this 2-0. And I really missed last season, where no matter what happened, we predicted Fleetwood to lose every game.
Well, I can't pick. How can I back them to near Swindon? Tom, what am I supposed to do? Should I have gone 0-0?
Yes,
right,
exactly.
0-0 draw. 0-0 draw. Change it now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'll give you 3-0, 3-1. I'm letting it happen if you want.
Well, I feel like part of my soul is leaving my body every time I back Fleetwood. So 0-0 draw, please.
Excellent. Bad news for both.
I still think I can get into heaven with that.
Crewe Alexandra versus Northampton Town. As I'm only doing voiceover on this game, myself and Thomas definitely didn't forget about it. No, not at all. It's just something that got lost in editing, and that's the story, and that's what we're sticking to. But we have given scores for this one. Both sides have been very up and down with form, and a bit patchy. A couple of wins, a couple of losses in there. Generally, I have a soft spot for Crewe after the job they did on Oxford a few weeks ago, although they don't always play to that potential. And I am going to be backing Crewe to win by 2-1, and Thomas has put a 2-0 scoreline for Crewe. So sorry, Northampton fans, not much joy for you. We're both going for the Alex.
Peterborough United versus Ian's favourite team, Rochdale.
Come on, the Dale. Come on. You're playing Peterborough side that are on the ropes. This is your time to land that knockout blow. You've been all right. I mean, you haven't been losing every week. You got a draw, a win, and a loss in your last few games. You lost to Lincoln, but everyone loses to Lincoln, so don't take too much heart on that. But honestly, at one point we talked about Sunderland are going to wake up. Peterborough are going to wake up from this tailspin, aren't they? pull themselves out of it. What is going wrong?
I mean, I don't know. You feel like it's going to reach a certain point soon, and Darren Ferguson's job all of a sudden is going to be on the line, because it's 4 or 5 losses now, and they lost 6 or 7 games. They were easily top of the league and flying with one of the best attacks, and they just don't seem to be able to put anything together. And Portsmouth got a really good goal out of Tom Naylor, which obviously really helped them, but Peterborough can't score. They can't score goals.
Which is really baffling to say that Peterborough can't score.
Because that's why we have them going up. We were like, they can easily score 4 a match, but they haven't been able to put together. But Ian, you gotta kind of think against Rochdale, they might finally figure it out. I mean, Rochdale are not exactly a form side.
No. But they are a wonderful side.
They are beautiful. I'm gonna go. I think it's gonna be hard fought, because I don't think Peterborough just explode out of this funk. But I'll go 2-1 to Peterborough.
Yeah, do you know what? That was what I was thinking in my mind as well. It wasn't an easy game when Oxford played Rochdale, and you just kind of had to just do enough to beat them, and they'll create chances for sure. Peterborough 2-1 as well.
Charlton Athletic versus Wimbledon.
Yeah, well, we've talked about Charlton throwing points away against Shrewsbury with a late penalty. That's probably the biggest detriment to Charlton, is they don't score enough goals, and so they always leave themselves open in a game like that, despite having a really good defence. AFC Wimbledon, I mean, that's a bit of a freak result as well, isn't it? Bristol Rovers doing them 4-2.
Yeah, I think it's Paul Tisdale's first win. That's their first win under that. And this looked like a fantastic match if you were watching it. Wimbledon opened the scoring, then Rovers score a couple, then Wimbledon equalise, and then stroke of half-time, Hanlon hits the go-ahead goal. Nicholson gets another one, 2 braces, and they ran out deserved winners. They outpossessed them. They outshot them. They outdid everything they could. They were just brilliant in the second half. Wimbledon, though, that's a really tough result for them. A really tough result.
It is. I don't think that, I think they'll be more than happy with where they are at this stage in the season now. To be on 20 points and still, they were on a little bit of a winner game. They seem to pick up points every other game, so it's like they keep adding to their sandcastle, if you like. But this is going to be a second defeat in a row. I think that Charlton will win. I think it'll be 2-1 again. 2-1 Charlton.
I'm going to go 2-0.
I think Wimbledon seem to always score.
They did. I mean, they haven't had a bad attack this season.
No, I mean, they've got Piggott, and he's a great goal scorer.
And they've essentially scored as many goals as they've conceded. So, I'm probably going rogue here by saying they won't score.
Why didn't you go 4-4? Bristol Rovers versus Plymouth Argyle.
Green Army.
We've covered Bristol Rovers, Thomas. You've already talked about what a magical display they put on, particularly in the second half, to give Tisdale his first win. So we don't need to add anything more to that. Let's turn our attention to these pilgrims that are falling down the league.
Yeah, and they were dominated by an Ipswich Town we wouldn't have expected to dominate them, especially with the injuries they've had, etc.
Hey, in my experience, one person's the dominant, one person's the, non-dominant.
Second dominant?
Yes.
But Plymouth have lost 4 in a row. They drew the match before that. They are on a heinous run of form, and I find it hard to back them in this just based on how badly they're playing.
I know, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, that's 4 defeats in a row.
Yeah.
And you said they were really poor in the Ipswich game as well. So Bristol Rovers will have the wind in their sail. They'll probably have fans back in the ground as well. It's a Tier 2 venue.
Nope. Tier 3?
Is it? Bristol?
Bristol's Tier 3. No fans.
I take that back. There'll be no fans in the ground on this one. But I still think Bristol Rovers will win. But I'll let you give your score first, because I went first last time.
I am going to go 1-0.
Let's have a repeat of the magic from last time and have Bristol Rovers 4, Plymouth Argyle 2.
I mean, that would be fantastic. If that happens, at least the Plymouth fans will get some entertainment from their day.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be really entertained, Tom. When I've seen Oxford lose 4-2, I've walked out skipping. At least I was entertained.
Yes, exactly. That's how football works.
Idiot.
MK Dons versus Burton Albion.
You have nothing to call them now.
No, I don't know what to call them anymore. I don't know.
They've lost their curse and they've shifted it onto Shrewsbury.
They've lost that loving feeling is what they've done.
What do we say about these two? Come on, I'm sorry, what am I doing? Where are my manners? Let's have an update on the Milton Keynes Dons possession stats, please, Thomas.
Finally you pay attention to what really matters. MK Dons had 60% possession against Accrington, only scored 1 goal, and offered very little going forward. They did manage 6 shots on target in this match, though, which is a huge improvement, off only 11 shots. And they did better than Accrington in that respect. But yet again, it's a lot of kind of useless possession from MK Dons. But they are coming up against the Burton Albion side, who got a creditable draw against Crewe, 1-1.
Holy water. That's how
Yes.
you beat the MK Dons.
What I live on.
Holy water. Draw. 1-0.
Okay.
1-0! 1-1.
I'm worried about you. MK Dons to win 2-1.
Look, it's December, it's nearly Christmas, it's going to be chilly up on that beachfront, but I don't care because you're going to see a resurgent return to form for the Yellows. It's time for the main event.
Blackpool versus Oxford United.
A excellent result and an excellent performance against league leaders Hull City. Oxford showed that they should be nowhere near the bottom of the table, but unfortunately they are. We look at the fixture list, you think, oh, Blackpool, that's winnable, and then you look and they've won 4 of the last 5. Oh my God, why do we play everybody when they're in banging form? It's so frustrating, but there are signs of improvement. I mean, if you'd put the horror show that happened against Swindon, if we literally have won that game, the form would be great now coming into it. But it wasn't to be. I think, I do. It's all positive signs for me from Oxford United point of view. I think that they're playing with a purpose. They've got. The pressing game seems to be working quite well. I think Robinson needs to find a plan B for when the players get tired in the latter half of the game. But the defence looks stronger. Just need to start sticking the ball in the back of the net. Start finding Taylor in the box, please.
I have nothing to say on Oxford. I don't believe in this Blackpool team.
How come? But don't give all your nuggets of glory away, Tom, because we will be doing a preview show.
We will.
Going into 25 minutes of why he doesn't believe in Blackpool.
Well, firstly, Blackpool do this to us every year. They trick us into backing them, and the minute we start backing them to win games, they lose everything and fall apart like a house of cards. Secondly, they are not scoring goals. They're literally averaging a goal a game, which is really not great. They're conceding more than that. And their kind of 4 wins in 5 has papered over what were a lot of cracks at the beginning of the season when we thought they were going to be a lot better. So I'm yet again drinking Kool-Aid and thinking Oxford United will win?
You're a madman. They can never. They'll never do it. They'll never give you a correct forecast or score. You backed Hull, which seemed absolutely like banker of the week. Everybody's accumulator failed in that one, and Oxford still can't get your point. Go on then, tell me, and then I'm going to ask you something.
I think it's going to be Blackpool 0, Oxford 3.
What happened to you in Blackpool? What happened to you? You must have had an experience there or something.
I can't tell you.
Watch Roy Chubby Brown.
The clown and drag might be able to answer your questions.
Oh, goodness. I reckon you had a bad experience on the big one. I am going to say Tom is going... What am I talking about? A bad experience for Tom at Pleasure Beach is not going to deter me from backing my beloved Oxford United. I don't think they'll win 3-0. No. I think Oxford will win by 2 goals to 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Neither of us should be allowed to do predictions anymore. If last week wasn't already proof of it, this week is absolutely nuts.
They don't come for the predictions. They come for the, well, I was going to say comedy, but there hasn't really been any of that. So I don't know what they come.
I have been charming, Ian. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You have been
charming.
I've been a sod.
Dragging the channel down. All that's left is to thank all of you for liking, commenting, subscribing, watching currently as you are. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We're really hoping we can get these League One videos a bit more views and stuff. But let us know what we're doing wrong or what we're doing right. Let us know what you think, what scores you think. Let us know what we know about your clubs and if we need to do more research. Because I can tell you I know a lot about Hull, and I know a lot about Accrington, and I know something about Oxford. And Ian, after that, do I know anything?
You know plenty, Thomas, and you learn more every week. Let me tell you what I know. I know a lot about Oxford, and I don't care about the rest.
And there you have it. So please have a look at our links below. Hit us up on social media. Like, comment, subscribe. We love you very much, and we'll see you for the Oxford versus Blackpool preview.